We believe this to be a heinous and diabolical crime, and we believe that there may be some dismemberment involved.
Coming up on Valley News Now, we were at the Fargo Police Department for a massive press conference about the 25-year-old missing woman, Isadora Wengel. Now, they do believe she has been murdered, but also brought up the significance of this tote. We'll explain.
Plus, as the case continues to develop from the day that Wengel was reported missing to the murder charges, we are outlining the timeline of our missing person case. Valley News Now is live.
All right, thank you also very much for joining us on this Valley News Now afternoon update. We're not going to waste a whole lot of time today. As you saw from our headlines there, we have team coverage on the very latest developments in the missing persons case involving a woman from West Fargo, Isadora Wengel. Some significant developments today from the Fargo Police press conference. Police say that they believe that the 25-year-old was, and this is a quote from Dave Zabolski, heinously murdered, according to the Fargo Police chief. They're also asking for the public's help to recover her body. 21-year-old Joshua Hite is now charged with murder and tampering with evidence. He was arrested on those charges yesterday evening. We had that breaking for you on valleynewslive.com and on our social media channels as well. Now, our team's been covering this story from the moment that we got word last night that the arrest was made, and it's continuing through today with the press conference. We're going to go to Duke Schindler and Sydney Zatz, who were both on scene at the press conference for Fargo Police today, with the very latest developments on this case and what they learned. Police are still looking for answers for when it comes to finding Isadora's body.
Thank you very much, Devin. Now we're here joined by Sydney Zatz, who we were at the press conference for at the Fargo Police Department for the missing woman, Isadora Wengel. And we heard a lot of big things kind of come out there, including arresting her boyfriend and having him in custody. But we also heard some other things, too, as well. Sydney, why don't you just break it down for us?
Yeah, for about 15 minutes, Chief David Zabolski spoke on the missing persons case of Isadora Wengel. The first thing he said is that she is still missing. Now, he was very clear, do not ask about evidentiary matters because they will not be addressed. That was the first thing he said when question and answer opened up. But now the one thing he did mention as far as evidence is this black and red tote. We know that there are two of them. One of the two has been recovered. We don't know what's inside. We've been told it could be dismembered body parts, but again, we don't know much about it or where it was even found. But police said they have two key things they want to do here: get the second tote, and most importantly, find Isadora.
And then we heard as well that this is a 27-gallon tote on top of that, and they're looking for this in many parts of the area, including North Dakota and Minnesota. So what did we kind of hear about that?
Well, we know that this case could still differ over state lines. Otter Tail County, which we've been sharing with you over the last few weeks, has been involved with this case. Valley News Live did run out of time today during the presser to ask what their relationship is to this particular case. But we do know that they're not being ruled out. This case could be there. It could be back in North Dakota. Chief Zabolski did say if this case goes over state lines, we could be seeing federal charges.
And we did also hear from Zabolski that they do believe that Isadora has passed at this point, correct?
Correct. We do not know where she is, but he said with the melting snow and the warmer weather we've had, they expect that searching will hopefully ramp up here and they'll be able to bring her home, wherever that may be. Again, they are not ruling out Minnesota, so she very well could be in Otter Tail County, which was an original part of the search, or she could be in Fargo, West Fargo, which is where this story begins.
And then at this point in juncture, too, they're still asking for the public's help here. So when we were at that presser, what did they kind of tell us on what to look out for?
Correct. They, again, want any information regarding this case. They are still looking for that one vehicle, which we have more information on our website about that particular vehicle, its make and model. And again, they really want this second tote. Whatever is inside could have the answers to what happened to Isadora. Again, we do not know what's inside the first one or where it was found, but police, they just want their answers, and so does Isadora's family.
Thank you very much. And we were also told that it was time to respect the privacy, the family's privacy on top of that, but we'll be having much more on these updates coming up on our digital updates as well. as Valley News Live 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10, as well as Sydney's story.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And Devin, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Duke and Sydney, for that. Of course, they have more coming up on Valley News Live, more sound from the press conference, exactly what Dave Zabulski had to say about this. Now, this, like they mentioned, this has been something that we've been covering for weeks, and the timeline continues to grow, and we continue to get more and more details as this investigation continues. And for that reason, we're going to go to Jessica Bringy now, who has an exact timeline of what we know so far as this case has been developing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the timeline of events that has led up to today's announcement from the Fargo Police Department.
Devin, as Fargo Police announced what's being called the heinous murder of 25-year-old Isadora Wengel, we are learning a body recovery effort is now underway. So let's take a moment as this case continues to develop and look at a timeline of the case and what we know so far. We do know on January 7th, Wengel was reported missing to West Fargo Police by her father. He told investigators that the last time he'd seen his daughter was on December 31st. Now, at a press conference today, police cast doubt on that information. However, we also know a search warrant was executed at the residence shared by Wengel and her alleged partner, 21-year-old Joshua Hite. That search warrant executed on January 9th. At that time, Hite was detained as well in early January. However, officers say there was not enough evidence at that time to arrest or charge him with anything. That has now changed as of yesterday. It appears officers and investigators do have that evidence, now charging him with murder and tampering with evidence. Having that press conference today announcing that Hite is linked to Wengel's death. Now, while he remains in custody at Cass County Jail, Fargo Police are opening a line of communication with the community. They're asking if you have any information about the whereabouts of Wengel's body or any information about that 27-gallon tote that may have been used to dispose of Wengel's remains. You can contact Fargo PD at 847-411, and you can text that number and remain anonymous. Devin.
3. Thank you very much, Jessica, for that report and the summation of what we know so far in the Jessica Wengel case. I do want to hammer home one very important point there. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Isadora Wengel's body or that tote, like Jessica mentioned, contact Fargo Police. We've seen some comments on our posts saying that you saw something at some point. We appreciate the tips. Do not contact us about this. Contact Fargo PD as they continue to search for this body to bring some closure to the family involved there. Now, let's move on to the rest of our program here on our Valley News Now afternoon update. Let's take a look at the weather outside. Obviously, 30 degrees, beautiful day so far. I was outside recording the Olympic Zone, and my hands got a little bit colder than they normally do when I've been recording that, but overall, can't complain. Taking a look at the Skycam right now from our First Alert weather team, basically what we've been running into the past few days. Some consistency in the weather department there. Now, for how long that can last and what we can expect moving forward here, let's go to First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Summer Schnellbach for the very latest as we look ahead to the weather forecast tonight.
Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Summer Schnellbach, and more melting taking place today. As we told you about late last week and the start of this week is that we would see a lot of melting take place this week, and that is continuing. Things refreeze overnight and get a little bit slick in the parking lots, but the afternoon, especially with the help of a lot of sunshine, has been speeding up that melting process. We have had some fog today. That has cleared up since the late morning hours and now into this afternoon, but tonight and into tomorrow morning, and then again on Friday morning, watching out for more fog potential as the melting snow is releasing moisture into the atmosphere that cools and condenses with the light winds during the nighttime hours. Next week, We've called a first alert weather day for you for Wednesday. There's still plenty of uncertainty. Today is Wednesday. We're talking about next Wednesday, but we're still watching that active weather pattern. Right now, the trend is to see rain and a little wintry mix on Tuesday into Tuesday night, changing over to snow on Wednesday, and that could still be kind of the start of an active pattern that could persist into next weekend. Lots of questions still, but we've been keeping our eye on it, and we're raising that first alert weather day to give you that heads up to some bigger changes. Could be our first Colorado low that we've seen yet this season. So stay tuned. We've got your forecast coming up tonight on Valley News Live, and it's Weather Kid Day as well. You'll get to meet our ladies Weather Kid tonight at 5.
Weather Kid Day, consistent highlight here at the station. We should be meeting them here in a few minutes here. What time is it? 3:42? Should be coming through anytime soon. Moving on to some of the other stories we've been working on here in the Valley News Live newsroom today. Obviously, the main focus has been what the Fargo Police Department briefed us on earlier today. You can find a full web story on that press conference on our website, valleynewslive.com. But of course, more to get to that our news team has been working on. Let's go ahead and start with this here. The Fargo Police Department honoring the life and service of Officer Jason Moszer this morning. We reported that this event was going to be happening, marking a decade since his tragic death in the line of duty. The memorial ceremony was held at Fargo City Hall. Officer Moser's courage and sacrifice continue to resonate deeply within the Fargo Police Department. That was the main message put forward by FPD during this memorial service and the community he served. We're going to have a full story from Harrison Prey. He was at that memorial and will bring us more tonight at 6, so be sure to stay tuned for that one there. Hubbard County Sheriff Corey Ox announced that he's not going to be seeking a 5th term as sheriff in 2026. Sheriff Ox began his journey as a 20-year-old deputy sheriff in 1990 before being elected as sheriff in 2010. He has since served 4 terms. Ox says that he made accountability a priority and credits any success to the hard work and sacrifice of his staff. While he's no longer going to be wearing a badge, Sheriff Ox plans to continue his public service. He's announcing that he plans to run for Hubbard County Commissioner in District 3 later this year. This is the 3rd Minnesota sheriff in our viewing area announcing that they're not going to be seeking re-election, along with, I believe, Becker County and Clearwater County. Add Hubbard County to the list as well now. Going to be looking for a new sheriff in the upcoming elections. Some sports news before we close things out here, specifically North Dakota State football. Now, this time, I know obviously the big headline was their jump to the FBS level earlier this week, but some players from last year's team getting a big chance, probably the biggest job interview that they have for the NFL level. Quarterback Cole Payton and wide receiver Bryce Lance have been invited to showcase their skills in front of professional scouts in Indianapolis next month. Cole Payton was consistently atop the quarterback leaderboard in efficiency this season, racking up 2,719 yards through the air. He also tallied 777 total yards and 13 touchdowns. Wide receiver Bryce Lance, FCS All-American first teamer, racking up a career high 1,079 receiving yards. The draft combine takes place from February 23rd to March 2nd at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Bryce Lance looking to become the 2nd member of the Lance family drafted from North Dakota State. Good luck to those guys. A high-pressure situation there at those combines. Now, before we get out of here, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to take a look at the road conditions. You have about 15 minutes until Valley News Live at 4. Duke Schindler back on the desk there, has you covered. Not that Jessica wasn't doing an incredible job, but Duke is back now. I had to say that because someone may be in the room. But looking at the road conditions now, not a whole lot to write home about, which, as usual, is a good thing, as you could probably expect with these weather conditions that we have right now. Green across the board. Now, normally we have some frosty roads or some some frost roads or some wet and slushy roads up here around the Devil's Lake area, up by Grafton even. Nothing today. All green across the board if you're getting ready to get your way out the door from work heading home, or if you're just leaving home for the first time today. No matter what happens, it looks like it should be pretty consistently nice out there. For those of you that are just joining us, we're going to take a look at the Skycam again. This is a look at, I believe, I-29 here. You can see not a whole lot of traffic out there too. So looks like some pretty good conditions as you get ready to make your way out the doors, get ready to go home. Now, obviously with the post-work rush hour traffic, that is probably going to change a little bit. But, well, I guess rush hour, that you can call it that in Fargo. But, you know, it's still gets busy out there. Thank you all so much for joining us for this afternoon update here on our Valley News Now digital networks. 14 minutes till Valley News Live at 4. Be sure to have your Valley News Live news app and weather app handy for the latest information, especially as these major investigations continue. We're going to keep you updated as we get all of this information, and then also on our TV shows at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Those are going to be streaming on your smart TVs as well. So no matter how you watch us, we're going to be bringing you the latest information exactly when you need it. Thank you for joining us for this Valley News Now digital update. I'm Devin Fry.